Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be sharing with you how we discuss manners and reviewing manners in our daily homeschool. If you're new here, hello, my name is Erin. I'm a homeschool mom of 3 kiddos ages 13, 11, and 7. And as I mentioned in the beginning, today I just wanted to simply share with you how we review the topic of manners in our homeschool. What I am sharing with you today is definitely nothing revolutionary. I'm not claiming to be a professional in this area or anything like that. I'm simply just showing you how we intertwine reviewing manners and those sorts of things in our homeschool. And I wanted to share that with you in case it is something that you would be interested in using for your homeschool and for your family. So the topic of manners is something that obviously as parents we have a responsibility to teach to our children, no matter if they are homeschooled or they go to school. Teaching them manners and reviewing manners with them is something that will be ongoing throughout your child's life, regardless of what age they're at, what season of life you're in. The topics will probably shift at some point depending on the age of your children. What I'm sharing with you today is for my children and my family and the stages of life that we are in and the ages that my children are. I would say that this is probably borderline a little bit past my oldest, but he does our morning time with us and he was involved in the structure of this also. So, and he enjoyed it. He never complained. And again, these are manners that we have discussed before. None of them were new to my children. They're all things that we've gone over before, but it was a nice time to review them and to just recap and have some good conversations about them along the way. What prompted me to initially start including this in our morning time was that I was seeing a lot of moms post their morning menus, and which I thought was a really neat idea. I personally never bought the menus to print the papers to use in my homeschool. I simply made a binder for each of my children and we called it their morning binder. It looks like this. This is Zoe's. And for the girls inside, I would have, I can show you. I would have a calendar for them, and then I would have just this little dry erase page that shows the days of the week and the month of the year, and they would just check it off each morning or each week, depending on how often we did this. And then we also had some printable calendars that they would just cross off the days, and they could write special little things in there. Easton, no braces, and me x-ray is what Zoe wrote on her one date on here. But that was kind of a fun little thing. And then what I did for their manners is well, let me first explain where I came up with the manner list. So yeah, let me back up a little. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I started doing morning binders, which are similar to morning menu, but I just simply took a 3-ring binder and I ended up grabbing these off my shelf. I already had them. And I printed off the calendars and the manners for each of my kids and put them in their binders at the beginning of the week. And we would use, for this year, for our morning Bible Christian curriculum, we would use 5 in a row, and it was the extra Christian character supplement. I do not use 5 in a row in any other way. I just thought that this Christian character supplement looked really sweet, and it has been a really good fill-in for us this year. And if you're not familiar with the Christian character supplement, how it works is there's a picture book that goes along with each lesson, and you can use the lessons however often you would like to. You could do one a day, you could do one a week. We ended up doing 1 or 2 a week, depending on the week and the other things we had going on. And I cannot speak for how you're originally supposed to use this supplement because I do not use 5 in a row otherwise. If you're familiar with how that is initially structured to work, then I would suggest looking up some other videos. I'm not one that can give you the exact directions for that. I will tell you that the supplement was really great, and it really started some nice Christian character conversations for us. And so the way that the lessons worked and the way that we used it was each day there would be a lesson, and then there's a picture book that goes along with the lesson. So you read the picture book and then you discuss the character traits that are present throughout the book, and there's scripture verses that link with the character trait and that go along with the story that you just read. And it just made for some really sweet times. Most of the picture books are classics that have been around for a long time. The way I came up with the manner list was I just typed in a simple Google search about a list of top manners, and I found a list on a blog. I think it's called In Between Laundry. I will link it down below so you know exactly where I found the list. And I think the original list that she posted came from parenting.org. I'm pretty sure it's all linked on there. So I cannot take credit for the initial list of manners, but this is the one that I chose to use for my printouts. And I'll show you the printouts in just a second, and I'll let you know how the 5 in a row ties into the printouts. One other thing I did want to mention is I also saw some other moms posting this really neat manner flip book, and they were incorporating it into their morning time. And it looked really, really intriguing, and I was so close to ordering it, but I decided not to. I had some self-control and figured, you know what? This is a topic that I don't need to hit super heavy, only because we go through manners often when needed, when a situation arises and we need to discuss it. You know, we do those things at the proper time. But I also wanted to have some time to talk through them a little bit more than me just telling them in the moment. Make sure you cover your mouth when you're coughing, you know, all those sorts of things. So anyway, the way that I tied in our 5 in a row Christian character supplement with our manners was I would choose one manner a week. So there's 25 in total. And so we would do one a week, and we would go over the manner in the morning. I would print out the pages for them. They would have them in their binder. We would flip to the manner. We would discuss it and read it. And then I always included a little picture at the bottom of the manner page that tied into our 5 in a row picture book. And so if they wanted to, they could sit and they could color the letters of the manner and the picture while I read to them and while we had our lesson for the Christian character. And let me show you here an example of one. I'll also flip the camera around and sort of flip through the binder so you can see multiple ones. The girls' binders are definitely more colorful than my son's. Some of them he did not color, which is fine. He always listens, so that's not a problem. But the girls often would color theirs. And so this one was actually manner number 1. Do not reach at the table. Or no, I'm sorry. This is not manner number 1. This is manner number 25 because she has hers in from earliest to latest. Her most recent one here is the latest one. So this is the last manner on our list. Do not reach at the table. And then I just have a little horse and carriage picture down here. And this went along with our picture book at the time of whatever this week started. We read a book that had something to do with horse and a carriage. Can't quite remember what that book was. But so I just went into Canva and I created these printables, and I just did cut like letters that they could color in, and then found a picture that had just an outline that they could color. And that was it. And we did one of these a week. So as I mentioned, there's 25 in total. That was the last one. And then here's another one she did not color. And show you a couple more here. That one she didn't color either. Let me show you one more she colored. This one's cute. I think this one was the Little Red Lighthouse. And this was a really sweet story. I think it's the Little Red Lighthouse. I think that's what it's called. And see, the manners are super simple. Always offer to help. But we were able to discuss different ways that this can come up. Like if you see the neighbor outside and they need a hand with something, run out and help them. Or if someone's walking into church and their arms are full, offer to help them carry their bags. You know, just little things like that. If your friend drops their pencil case in class at co-op, help them clean it up. And it just prompted some really nice little conversations, and that was that. And so all of my pictures tied into our picture books, and they didn't really make much sense with the actual manner. But what I have done is I went back into my file and I put in different pictures for each of the manners that I typed up, and I wanted to offer them to you to use for free if you would like to, in your morning time, in your morning menu, in your daily conversations with your children. I'm going to put the link down below where you can access the download, and you can access it for completely free. Feel free to use it however you would like to. Again, I can't take credit for the original list of manners, but I have given credit to where I found the manners, so you can find that down below. And yeah, it's very simple, and I wanted to offer it to you that you could use with your family. And so I went in and I put pictures with the manners, and they sort of make a little more sense now. I'm going along with the manner. The picture that I put on sort of links in, like, do not reach at the table. I put a little picture of a nice table setting. And so if you'd like to use these in your morning time with your kids or in your morning menu, feel free to click that link down below and download the file from there and have fun. Have fun with your conversation, have fun with coloring. I hope this blesses you. I hope that you are able to make use of it like we did. Again, it just prompted some really sweet conversations with our family each morning. So I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know, and we will talk very, very soon.